Hi there, welcome to my channel. I have an interesting video for everyone to see today, and it involves PowerA wireless Nintendo Switch controllers. So if you're new to my channel, I've done a few unboxings and reviews, and in short, these controllers are good alternatives to the pricier Nintendo Switch Pro controller. Housing wise, they're made out of plastic and don't feel too premium, but they do have some awesome designs and pretty convenient programmable back buttons. They lack haptic feedback, but they do connect via Bluetooth and have motion controls. So a ton of pros and minimal cons, but this isn't a review. This is more of a video about a surprising discovery while Sugarberry Smash and I were shopping at Burlington, formerly known as Burlington Coat Factory. So as we were walking to checkout, I noticed an Apex Legends logo, and I was shocked to see this Apex themed PowerA wireless Switch controller. So I went to grab it and was amazed at how awesome this controller looks. It's pretty much the same in comparison to the other two that were shown at the beginning of the video, but as mentioned, these PowerA controllers' main selling point are the back buttons and all of the licensed designs that they have. But there's one big difference between this controller and the others that I've bought. Since this was found at Burlington, I got this for half the price. So as we look at the sticker on the bottom, it's only $24.99, which is ridiculous because retail wise, it still goes for $49.99 at places like GameStop or Target, and Burlington was kind of generous by giving it a comparable value at $34. But I think even on Amazon, the price still fluctuates between $45 to $50. So this is actually a really good deal. So if you have a Burlington near you, maybe you can pick up one of these PowerA wireless controllers from them. So I mentioned earlier that this doesn't have haptic feedback. It only has wireless like Bluetooth 5.0 connections, and it has motion controls as well too. And also another pro that could be a con for some people is that it uses AA batteries. So if you need to charge up your controller really quickly, you can just swap out batteries, Xbox style, I guess. And one thing they don't mention on the box or at all, besides being compatible with a Switch, of course, and a Switch Lite, this does work with PCs. So if you have a Bluetooth connection on your PC, this will sync up and you can use it on gaming PCs, gaming laptops, whatever it may be. And I'll do that PC demo towards the second half of this video, immediately after the Switch demo. And I actually discovered that works with PCs on my own, and then later researching on Google that other people have done it as well too, because my DualShock controller died while playing Fortnite one day on my gaming laptop, and I needed a controller really quickly. So I grabbed that KK slider controller you saw earlier in the video, synced that up, and it worked flawlessly. So I assume 99.9% sure that this will work as well too, since it's pretty much the same controller. So here's a good look at everything. It has a cool gradient orange to red that goes out throughout the whole entire controller. You see Apex Legends logos on it as well too. Kind of rugged looking design, but it's a nice smooth controller as well too. So as we look at everything else, it's two-tone, black on the back and that gradient color on the front. All the buttons work. It's that cheap clickiness that you feel with these sort of controllers. Some people like it, some people hate it. It just depends on all of your preference. But as you can hear me press everything in right now, you hear that clickiness, and that's what I mean by having that hard click with every button pretty much. So personally, I don't mind it, but others might find that an issue, so just keep that in mind. So here are the back buttons that work the same way. All you do is press that program button right there, and I'll show off exactly how to map the buttons on the fly in the next segment where I try this out on Apex, which is a terrible game on the Switch, but just for the sake of this video, I'll load up Apex on the Switch and go to the firing range. So we got the batteries plugged in and everything is set to go. And I forgot to include how to sync it up with a Switch, which is really easy. All you do is go to controllers, change grip order, press the sync button on the top of the controller, and it should be identified by the Switch soon. So that's why this was kind of recorded after the fact on the laptop. So if you're wondering why the scene changed just a little bit. So for those wondering, this version of Apex on the Switch is absolute garbage. So you don't want to play it on there. And if you want to play Switch only, it's almost impossible to find a match. So you have to go cross-platform, which you'll get absolutely torn up because you won't be able to see most of the textures load up in time. Anyway, so here's the game working on the Switch with the controller. If you play on other consoles, all the face buttons and triggers are the same. So let's map one of these back buttons, and I always like to make my back right button crouch or slide. So I held down that back button until that button started flashing. Sorry, it's off camera. I press A right there, so it starts flashing rapidly, and then I press the back button right there. So now it's programmed. I'll try to do a cleaner version of that. Sorry, I'm trying to do this all from one camera, but you can see that that back button now is for crouch or slide if you're sprinting. So I'm going to set the left button as sprint, held down the button, it's flashing, press the stick in, and then press the back button. So now that button is my sprint button. So you can see my middle finger right there by the edge of the controller pressing the sprint button whenever I run. You can try to see my right middle finger press the crouch button to slide, and it's that simple, and you can pretty much program the buttons or map the buttons on the fly. So I'm just going to make sure all the other buttons on the Switch work. You can see me just mashing that crouch button over and over again on the back right paddle. So the ADS button's working as well as the fire button. I think RS or the right shoulder is the ping, and that left button's for your special. I don't know what X does in this game, but Y is to reload. If anybody knows what X does, I kind of forgot. But anyway, A and B are there as well too. And if you want to do your emotes, the D-pad works as well. So everything's going smoothly. And now the main test that I think most people want to see is to get this on a PC or gaming laptop, which I have right here in front of me. So simple process. If you have Bluetooth built into your computer or your laptop, just add a device like normal. We click Bluetooth, and it's kind of blurry. I'm sorry, I don't have a capture card plugged in to get this recorded. But on the bottom right there, it says LIC Pro Controller, so licensed Pro Controller. I love how PowerA just has to put that in your face. Yeah, we're licensed. This is officially licensed by Nintendo. Here's our Pro Controller. But yeah, if you guys are wondering, licensed Pro Controller. So we got everything set up, and here's a quick tutorial on how to use a controller with Steam. All you have to do is click that settings cog right there, go to controller settings, and make sure your controller is detected by Steam. If not, you just have to go through the process of doing that through that menu, which is really easy. So I have Apex Legends loaded up, and the funny thing is I included this part right here because it took me about 20 minutes to get everything like loaded up and updated, and then all of a sudden my computer just dies on me because I forgot to plug it in. But the next part is a live recording. I only have Apex loaded up. Jeez Louise, that was terrible. Okay, so I'm just gonna press A, continue. We have the controller synced up right here. Really similar to the Nintendo Switch. I don't play on PC, so I have to do training, which is perfect. So we're just gonna press Y to get ready. So all the buttons work. Look around. That hand's over there. Oh, it's set to Xbox actually, so that's gonna be kind of weird. Okay, so just for the sake of this video, it's kind of set to Xbox buttons. This is crouch and this is jump. You can fix that later. That's melee. That's not going to work right now, so hold on the stick to run, speed to crouch, speed to slide. Pretty easy. Okay, so just like the Nintendo Switch, if you hold down this button right here to get this button turned on right there, if I press B to crouch and set it up with this back button should now work. So even on the PC it works. So if I want to do the same thing with the sprint button, hold down this button until that light right there starts flashing. Press this in, then set it to this back button, and now when I press this back button I'll start sprinting. So everything's set up the same exact way, just like on the Switch, except for the button's being kind of swapped out right now, which you can customize later. Use the ordnance menu. Open this up. Just make sure it works. And works. So this is going to be my new PC controller, I guess. And that's pretty much it. A nice little nifty secondary PC controller for me now, and Switch controller as well too. But for those interested, maybe check out your local Burlington, and maybe you can find one of these cool Apex Legends controllers as well too. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to check out these others. They might interest you in some way. And if you really liked hanging out with me today, please consider subscribing to be the first to know when I go live on a stream or upload a new video. And for those who want to support the channel just a bit more, check out that join button down below, and maybe you'll see your name at the beginning or end of my next video. I'll see you all soon. Please stay safe out there. Bye.